Gila.
Udah streaming kah kalau udah?
Udah mulai?
Next we have the Raw matchup.
Gila banget pembukaannya, Bang. Kelas banget musiknya. Baru juga mulai.
Aurora Gaming versus Alter Ego. Let the world see the M7 World Championship Grand Final.
Ini YouTube aku, Bi.
It is our honor to welcome Indonesian national team goalkeeper Nadio
Gila banget, cuy.
as he
Pembukaannya.
represents the coach of both teams, Master the Basics and Dexter of Aurora Gaming Philippines, as well as Zephyr and Sticks of Alter Ego
Wih, ini.
Esports alongside our
Halo,
head
Sniper,
referee,
welcome, guys.
Gary. We assure you that the
Anjay,
M7
udah lama kita nggak
Grand
live ini.
Final will be conducted with the highest standards of professionalism and fairness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, both finalists are on the stage. Are you
Iya, kita mau coba di live di YouTube dulu, Jun.
ready?
Kita nonton bareng kali ya, guys ya.
And now, let the grand finals begin!
Gua
Good
ya.
luck to both our competitors up on the stage. Through blood, sweat, and tears, they are here to represent for one goal and one goal
Ya,
only.
pembukaannya keren banget,
No
cuy.
matter what happens today, the storyline will be good. It's Aurora trying to escape the allegations that has been given to them. They were
Dukung
called
siapa ya?
chokers
Dukung
so many
AE
times,
lah,
but this
tapi
time they
katanya
have
nggak
another
ini ya.
chance to
Apa?
prove it in the grandest of
Hoki,
stages,
AE
World
menang
of
hoki.
MLBB.
Again, thank you, our casters, for
Iya nggak
the
sih?
introduction.
Kalian setuju
Here
nggak
it is
sih?
again, Edward, Demon Kai, Yue Light, as well as Domin Kai. These are names you
Kalian
heard so
dukung
many
siapa?
times, but again, they haven't become the champions of the world just yet. We'll see this time, can they finally do it?
Mr. Consistent looks like he's trying to change it all. 100% win rate on Yuzong, Arlen, Sora, a whopping win rate for an upper bracket run.
And then you're looking at Demon Kai, who has really varied choices of his junglers. 80% win rate when it comes to friend rate, as he played it 6 times, but 100% win rate when it comes to the Baxia. And then you have your Akai that he picks up, only picked up 1 time, but actually won with it because it was really good in the draft. Then you compare that to Dominkai. Oh my goodness. Number 1, when it comes to kill participation among gold laners at 68.5%. It's like a quarter, like 3/4 of the time, he will always be in that fight.
And that's exactly what you want from the new and involved, improved Aurora Gaming PH. However, their competitors on the other side, these guys make me lose words. Professor X gets into you. They know how to get underneath your skin with Nino, Yasuke, Hijime, Alec, and Arfi.
At this point, this is the Indonesians' hope. They are the Indonesian champions, man. The story that they bring. I gotta say, seeing Codell many times, saying over and over and over how proud he is of these boys. And now they're here in the grand finals, one step away from bringing glory back to Indonesia.
There was a time when Nino was always doubted in the region, right? I was able to talk to some of the Indonesian players. Even Mirko said that there was a story where Nino was actually not even considered as one of the better players and all, like not even just ex-players, as players in general in MPL. But here he is, the darling of MPL Indonesia, the darling of MOBB in the world right now. Everybody's looking at him because how he performs so well. He's number one when it comes to the KDA, when it comes to kills and GPM as the explainer. How about that?
This matchup has been predestined. We've been waiting for a moment like this where we see a grand
suaranya
finals.
jelas,
No champions involved, just runner-ups looking for the grandest prize.
And look at that, the trophy stands in front of them. All 10 players. They're gonna compete against their opponents, but the trophy is just there. It's close enough for you to reach. But again,
Halo
for
Parman,
5 these
welcome.
players in front of them, 5 more players are gonna stop them, are gonna crush their dreams. This is gonna be a best of 7, and ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys vote in the chat. Who do you guys think will win game number 1 in this best of 7, man? I gotta say, I want to see who has the more stamina, because Alter Ego yesterday, they showed they don't mind playing 8 games.
If there's one thing that we've learned about the meta so far, you win the early game and it's just pure oppression from 2 high caliber teams. A single mistake could flip the entire table on its head. But if this is a best of 7, I'm expecting some dominating matches, not only from AE, but also Aurora.
It's interesting that you said that, because my prediction for this particular series is that surely it will go long in a way that it will have like 6 or 7 games. But the games will be one-sided. And I'm only saying that because of the nature of the drafting right now. You saw how Alter Ego performed against SRG. And when they do nail that drafting, they make sure that they
Menurut
win
kalian
the
siapa yang bakal menang, guys? Kalau buat di match pertama, kalian ngevote-nya siapa, geng? Kemarin.
Because I feel like their priority is to win in the early stages.
Iya, minggu ini lagi ini mager banget, Jun.
That's why they will draft.
Tahu ya, lagi mager banget
win in the first
ini.
5 minutes. That's why I think snowballing, because of the drafting pattern of both teams, will happen so many times in the series.
And
suara aku ada nggak sih?
that's why I feel like we're gonna be impressed here, because I agree with you. The draft will
Alter Ego,
dictate that the game will end early, maybe 11-12 minutes.
Tapi Aurora terlalu overpower nggak sih itu? Ya nggak sih, Jun?
They'll figure out a way to delay the game all the way to 27. In fact, we have
Aurora
the
terlalu
longest
OP
game
sih.
in M
Harus di nerf
series
dulu
history
nggak sih
here
itu
in
Aurora?
M7. So honestly, I'm looking forward to see, like, yeah, this draft should not go all the way
Iya
to
nggak sih,
30 minutes, but I think both these teams can make it possible.
I think this is going to be an absolutely disgusting game of rock, paper, scissors in the draft, right? We saw the way that Aurora took on AE in the drafting phase. Yes, technically, we've seen many teams, if there's nothing wrong, don't fix it. And yet Aurora makes slight permutations, slight alterations to keep AE on their toes in a best of 5 series. Yet alone, we go into that best of 7. We've already seen AE push all the way to the edge. When Yasuke's got nothing left to play, he
Nanti
still
nih.
has a pick in mind. And I think
Nanti kita
that
main
Aurora
gacha
is
lagi.
going to look to
sabar
force back into
dulu,
that
sabar
ball.
dulu,
If
sabar
we
dulu.
see that there's a lot of focus on the drafting of both teams, then we also have to look at the execution of the players themselves. Nino and the gang, they have been on fire yesterday. They have been considered as a team that is inconsistent when it comes to closing out games. They will make some bad
Apa
plays
kita main gacha
eventually
kah?
that might cost them the
Nantilah,
game.
nantilah.
But that is also very true for
Kita main
Aurora.
gacha
I
nanti
feel
lah
like,
ya.
though, in the grand
Aku belum
finals,
download lagi nih
especially
soalnya.
because it's the best of 7 series
Stream
and everything
avatar ya.
is literally on
Nanti
the
lah.
line. Both teams might be more conservative on how they approach this game. That's why maybe let's not expect both Alter Egos and Aurora to make those kind of mistakes. I think they will be more safe. Might mean that the games might be slow because of that, but I think that it's just that the teams that we have today will be so careful the way they play a game.
Let me just say M7 is the time of Leo Moore, because during the Swiss stage, it only won 3 times and then lost for 6. But here in the knockout stage, only losing 9 games but winning 13. The Freya is even more incredible during the Swiss stage, unbeaten. 4
Ini kalau
wins.
misalnya
And
apa?
knockout stage, 12 wins.
AE yang menang bikin sejarah nih, Indo nih 2 kali menang M series, bro.
The meta always changes, and here having Leomord and Freya as well. Freya has been changed how many times
lagi ya kan?
and never been competitively viable. But now
Masa
here
kalah
she is.
mulu.
It's strange because when you asked us, when we were talking about this last year, where EXP felt dead, where it felt like an absolute brick wall, slight changes gave us a lot of hope for these damaged EXP laners. What I would have never imagined is when these fighters came back into the meta, through the jungle, through the gold lane. What a weird place we are in the world.
I think it's because the teams have tried to beat each other. Like, you know, it's like you implement this meta, for example. Let's say Freya Leomord. And then teams will just try to kind of defeat that by drafting. Maybe
Ada
getting
itu naik
Esmeralda,
botnya,
for example.
siapa aja.
Or maybe getting a Sora in the gold lane eventually to fight that Freya whatsoever. Then eventually people who will try to outplay that Sora will get the Esmeralda or something. It's a cycle, you know. The Valentina will be there. So there's like just an evolution of picks in specific parts of the drafting stages.
Something that you can see, man, here in MLBB, the front lines will always be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into
Let's
the
go, let's go, let's
first
go.
round of this
Draft pick,
grand
guys.
finals, and it's gonna be Flying Clouds with Aurora.
Kita lihat
Philippines
draftnya ya,
first pick,
draft pace
and
ya.
Alter Ego in the second, and look at Alter Ego already going for those direct bans, banning on the Boxia and the Khalid. Aurora, amazing ban on that Freya, but this does not scream the Leomord first pick.
Kind of does, but at the same
Aduh,
time, we don't know where
kekecilan
Aurora
dah.
is going to put their priorities. At the same time, they can open up with a Sora if they wanted to, if AE lets it go. And at the same time, as much as I love the Leomord, one of the few matchups that I think that Leomord is great at specifically is when it's up against the Yi Shin. The timings is just so awkward for the YSS.
But the Jushin is open for Aurora, although there is an Eve that Alter Ego can pick. I think that most teams are just so comfortable picking up the Jushin, and Aurora is not a team that will pass up on that. However, with the Leomord being open, like I said, it could be the opening here for Aurora. Now, that's the Jushin. Now, Alter Ego, they're that kind of team that when they ban the backshot, they know that you will get Uranus here. I think Leomord and Uranus is the opening
Di-ban
for
pa
Alter
niya.
Ego because they know that Lunox or any kind of shredder, including the
Eh,
backshot,
Bang
no one
Del.
can be available to counter that Uranus.
Fanny-nya di-ban, si apa Hilda-nya di-ban.
But they do
Waduh.
have that kind of, they do have that variation. Sometimes they combo the Uranus with the Esmeralda, in fact. It actually happened before. Alright, it's gonna be, instead, this is a different
Kira nggak ya
iteration of the
stiker-stiker kita,
pattern
King?
of Alter Ego. This is what makes Zephyr really
Nggak ada
amazing
lagi.
because even with this kind of pattern that you already laid
Stiker
out,
fan
there is
club
always a
kita hilang,
variation to it. Now, Aurora, that's immediately a Harriet.
Wow, this is a really incredible read coming in from AE side. Their own opener, knowing that they're expecting some sort of traditional marksman in the goal. You know what? Let's force you to at least take the Purify. But that does leave, you know, a lot to be said. Fredrin, 100% win rate coming in from Demon Kai. Why would you let that through knowingly as AE locks in the Phobius?
Because they are
Belum
prepared for it. They
kuaktifin.
will pick up the
Botnya
Phobius,
belum
so
kuaktifin,
counteract
Parman.
the potential explainer coming out from
Nanti
Aurora
ya.
because they will just ban out the counters to the Phobius.
Kita
For
fokus
example,
di
the Esmeralda,
ininya
or
dulu
maybe
dah.
pick that up. Oh, no, they will not pick it up. And also because they know that it is also an answer to the Harriet potentially. Phobius in the X-Blade with the Kalea and then maybe a Farsa as their fourth pick. It makes it so that their first turtle is
Iya.
so strong up against
Nanti
the
gacanya kita
Now, let's
buka,
talk
nanti
about
aja.
the upcoming mid trio because I'm already seeing Cho getting banned out for the
Ya
side
udah
of
lama
AE.
nggak
In
live,
fact, they
gimana
also got
membership
rid of
ya
the
hilang
lead in
lah.
the very first phase.
Gak banget
It does
ini.
give me an idea that AE want to fight for the mid lane somehow. They know that they could get Eve later down the line, but they've waited so long for it, allowing Aurora to potentially ban it.
Yeah.
Mainlah ke TikTokku nih.
Can I just say,
Apa
I'm very
lagi?
happy that we're opening up where both teams are kind of playing to their comfort,
Yes.
playing to their own playstyle because Aurora, I would say 100% win against SRG when they go for utility jungle, and now Alter Ego, even the first opening here, they're already showing the willingness to fight and picking up this Claude again, the pick that was able to beat Team Liquid Philippines.
Okay. Now, I'm actually not going to be surprised if the chip is going to be banned by Alter Ego. There it is. It's such a good ban because I think you would think that maybe the Hylas is a better ban or maybe a Badang because of their composition. But Aurora have shown that they are willing to pick up the chip. And with Fredrin, with Jushin, and Harriet, you can easily activate those heroes. And chip will be a difficult matchup if ever they prefer. So this is a smart ban.
It's taking away multiple different angles to actually engage in these fights. And personally, for me, I think it's a better option because Hylos and as well as Gatot are very straightforward. They're kind of linear style of roamers in comparison to Chip and Cho.
Oh, they're forcing the Farsa, but Alter Ego might just go for a Lunox here.
Honestly, even Farsa is not bad. Having that Kalia can kind of give you quite a lot of tempo in early. In fact, you don't even have to rush it. right? You can pick up your jungler, but if your jungler is going to be something that Zephyr really wants to surprise us again, yeah, you could just pick up your mid here. Either Farsa or Lunox works well because you have a Kalia.
Farsa's the safest option, obviously. Now, Aurora will not pick up the usual anymore. I think they will just go for the Lapu-Lapu because it just makes sense, right?
So much safer.
So much safer, but you also have that option of the Esmeralda.
Oh wait, no, Arlet is still available.
That's,
Oh yeah.
but up against the Phobias,
Yeah, but against Farsa and Claude, right?
I think it boils down to the question, Edward, do you want to win the lane? Can we trust you enough to hold out in the lane till we get to the mid game where we can actually utilize you in bigger team fights?
yeah, I think the Arlet, maybe the Uranus can also be picked up, but
Or
I would
CC.
think the Lapu-Lapu is the best option here.
They need
Kuliahmu
damage, they need
gimana
that
nih?
bridge for the turtle fights.
Wih, sini
That-
ke
that
YouTube
should
oke,
be
Bi?
Lapu-Lapu and
Yuzong is still open.
Hylas perhaps for light.
They can go Hylas or Gato. It kind of depends on what they want. Disengage or something more to fight.
Lapu-Lapu.
Good call, Wolf. Good call.
And now, if you're Alter Ego, you're going to be looking for your jungler now. Up against the Fredrin.
Farsa lepas tuh, Farsanya Hijumi lepas
Is
nih.
good.
Not bad.
Winnie actually. But what if they go Suyo? There's not much magic damage from
Yep.
from the other sources, but I'm Parrot, of course, in the early game.
But they do have a lot of CC, which is why I'm a little concerned about this, right? Does that mean that if we go for Suyo, we just have to omit, you know what, we're not going to go for the neutrals until Lords, we're looking to get advantages in lane.
Just win early, right? But they pick up the Nolan instead. So again, this is Alter Ego saying like, we got somewhere to be, guys. Let's end the game very, very fast. What do you feel about the draft for Aurora?
I think it's pretty even. There's a slight advantage for Alter Ego.
Well, what about you, Gideon?
I don't know. I think that it's a little more lopsided than that. I think that Aurora definitely is going to be slower in the early stages of the game, but if they keep it tight, I think mid-game it's pretty easy for them.
You know what? I'm very sorry to the stats on screen, but I legit don't care because at this point, there's something that you can't calculate, and that's the player spirit here using all their favorite heroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft has finished up, this is game number 1 of this grand finals. Gonna be flying clouds. So now we're gonna be throwing it over to our casters, Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
It's time to write the first chapter in the revelation that is this grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora Gaming Philippines from the upper bracket, Alter Ego from the lower, doing the nigh impossible, now stand on the grand stage.
All right. Taking a look at this draft, we have a new pick, at least from last series and all of yesterday. We haven't seen Yasuke on this Nolan yet, and he's going to bring it up in game number 1. This is all about feeling each other out in a best of 7.
But we have seen a similar pick to this, the Suyo, something that wants to go fast and something that is very Alter Ego.
And they're going down memory lane. There was a time where Nolan was in the metagame alongside Suyo. So it's clear that Coach Zephyr, Professor X's needs and foresight are coming through. Quick peek at the emblems. If you plan on playing Nolan in this current metagame, there's not much really changing here. Oh, quick start mid.
Yep, just a little bit more damage over on Yue. Alec pocket passive constantly getting the sustain over to Hijime.
I mean, well done already. We're seeing the aggression in the mid, but still nobody goes down. Demon Kite on this spread run. I mean, Aurora Gaming, I feel like their draft, they just keep it so simple. They keep it very Aurora Gaming PH. And if they win with this, it's a very good start from them because they don't have to change too much up. It's their style.
It's getting full from a basic breakfast or like a little glass of milk, a cup of coffee, if you will. Alter Ego, though, they're flexing how deep their hero pool goes. Could have sworn they were going to go utility as well, since there is a good combo in Hijime and Alec, and then they can bank on Arfi. But Yasuke, the hero pool on this young man.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of teasing about in the pre-match, right? We were talking about how Alter Ego, they want to go fast, but Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how
Kalau
to
Indo
play
menang
slow.
pasti
They know
memang
how to
sunat
slow
dia,
the
Jun.
tempo down all the way to a point where Alter Ego makes mistakes. And already they're setting up, but look, already Dark Wave coming in. Demon Kite taking down the Fracture, all in. But Light coming in for the re-engage. Yue pops in Crimson Beacon, able to get a Lancer Flare. Edward jumps in now with the Brave Spider. It's going to be Nino in the back line as Edward.
Way taking a lot of damage, might just go down
Damn,
here.
let's go.
Alec will take a few shots. Nino!
Wah, gila si Nino, bro.
Now jumps again.
Mm.
Another jump forward, but now he's caught in a bad place. Has a
Buh.
rock of the for the pursuit. We'll be able to go for the jump.
Waduh. Buying time lama banget dari Nino itu, bro.
A speedy response from Alter Ego, just as speedy as their
Kelas.
Demon Kite with a clutch take, didn't even use retry.
Alter Ego
Gila banget
start
tuh si
things
Nino,
off
lama banget dia
fast.
nahan.
They do win out in kills. It's still the first turtle on the map, though. Yasuke tries to take a different path. Not getting that purple means they didn't get too much out of that trade.
Yep, flickers were used, and now we're jumping over Turtle 1.
Nino in the back, going in for UA. Suzuki's gonna be taken very low by Edward. He's gonna go for the stun. Glorious Pathway coming down as the turtle was already secured by Demon Kite, but now it's gonna be Nino all alone. Crimson Beacon and Lantern Flare picking him up. He's trying to go in for pursuit. By Nino. Jumps over on Edward, gets another purple.
Aduh,
Be slain by
terlalu
Edward.
dalam si
Alec
Nino
has to
nih.
get out of here with a tsunami slam, looking for the escape.
Alec cannot escape.
Nabrak
There
aja
was a
terus
lantern on him
mainnya.
and a big horse.
Mana tuh guys? Kenapa AE-nya ditabrak-tabraknya kayak begitu tuh?
Limits.
War
This is
mulu,
the
coy.
focus. You need some modicum of items built to be able to do that.
Luckily, Yasuke, though, keeps on getting out of these fights. As long as Yasuke stands tall, they have a chance in future neutral objectives. All the games that we saw last time, when they lost,
Jun,
Yasuke
ajarin
had
Nino
that
main
game, so
ini,
it's
Jun.
huge to keep him on 1-0.
You're alluding to his game on the Fanny, the clincher against SRG. Yeah, I could have sworn watching that too. We're going all the way, but here, I agree. Yasuke needs that same amount of patience. Sure, he hasn't got punished yet, hasn't died, but if you want to take it to Aurora Gaming, you have to play the slow game.
And this is the thing about the Nolan. You actually shouldn't be contesting a neutral objective early. Yes, if there are real situations
Arfi
where Nino
dapat
can
ini
actually
lagi,
show Demon
dapat
Kite
Cloudy
and take
lagi
it, but
dia.
now they're gonna go for the dive in the bottom lane.
Op.
Alec flicker,
Iya.
tsunami slam, fracture come down.
Aduh,
There's a
ngapain?
pick down below, but look at the response from Aurora Gaming. Glorious Pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at
Whoop.
this point. He's got to get
Whoop.
out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancel
Wow, wow, wow,
out the
wow.
pickup and the throw
Gila.
down back, but
Masuk
again,
tiga,
it's
bro.
Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora.
Ya, aku lagi pakai Realme nih.
The
Nih.
trade is good. It's a
Pecinta
easy
Realme
laner
kita.
for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems no. Demon Kai has the orange buff.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump
Wow,
over
wow, wow,
on
wow,
Alec
wow,
from
wow,
Edward.
wow.
Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yazuke doesn't seem interested. Now is Light gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora.
Waduh,
Arfi
waduh,
blazing through
waduh,
it up
waduh.
top.
That's an oath for an oath in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against the Alter Ego.
Di
but not
all-in
anymore, because,
dong.
hey, they're willing to
Alec.
fight. Little bit of pressure. Tsunami slam.
Lockdown now with Hijime going for the sun as well. Big bonk. Alec gonna be taking
Wow,
it now.
wow,
Good
wow,
talk
wow,
right
wow.
now as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side.
Deh, nice banget Nino.
Sort of take him down as Yasuke goes in with the helmet of dark wave from Nino over on UA with the Crimson Beacon.
Whoa,
Gets him to
whoa,
safety, and now they go
mantap.
back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never
Kalau dia
shy.
free di atas
The
itu.
Padre pushing
Oh.
forward. Dominkite finds Yasuke.
Wow.
But again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Sinai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Sight does lock in for Dominkite. In the jungle, even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
Oh, in the bush. Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel.
Wup, wup.
All in coming down. Arfi
Iya,
using the wedge.
mantap.
Base on a purifier, get the kill.
Wih, haritnya hilang langsung coy.
Is the response from Aurora.
I don't know
Free
how worth it
turtle
is to
lagi
trade
ya.
the gold laner for
Push
the
bawah,
turtle.
push
I'm sure
bawah.
Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego. Plus, big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and UA to try to get down to
Nice.
save it.
Menang turret nih.
Trades all over, and so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to buy time. They can beat you out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble, and that's why Aurora's backing off.
Nami's having a glorious pathway again. UA able to go for the Crimson Beacon, flicker out from Hejum, it gets picked up and thrown back to the fray as Light goes in with Edward.
Nice.
But all I can say, I'm gonna sustain Arfi.
Arfi into the backside with a blazing duet.
Gets big bonked on him.
Kelas.
From Yasuki to take Domin Kaitanis Nino.
Nino.
Jump back and forth. Infernal pursuit, but now it's UA to lock him
Waduh,
down.
nggak
He goes for
kuat
one
dong
last
nahan.
one, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls, and Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turn it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. An unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is, it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Hejum may just pop like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Jaringan aku kenapa ini? Buffering guys.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Domeng on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled in that fight. He went in way too early, and now Aurora's holding the turret for Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move. Conceal from Alex.
You know, walking up Edward, doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now later damage on Hejum. Edward in the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
You know,
Oh,
Alec.
Alec.
Trying to go for the Infernal Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Domin, Kai, and Yue.
Aduh, kok masuknya kayak gitu ya?
Nino down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not
Beda
the
3K
aggressors.
ini
They're
golnya,
not
bro.
the predators. They're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu. But that is what Edward is right now. Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Hejume, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam into either of these carries should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I
Kena
clean up?
ente nih guys.
I think the big thing for Alter
Gimana
Ego
nih?
last game,
Kena
stabilize
ente
up.
guys.
Wait a second.
Indoi.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no
Gak ada yang bisa dekat itu.
response from Alter Ego. Arfi
Wow, wow, wow,
taking a
wow,
big
wow.
portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic Aurora.
They smelled something was fishy there. No vision on Yasuke. Where is he hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel. They don't need to see Yasuke, but the fact that they don't see him
Means they see him.
should be a signal, yeah, that
They know where he at.
around. They
Not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Hejum forced to use the feathered airstrike just to clear mid. As
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that glorious pathway. Hejum just Wings by
Susah
Wings.
lah. Lawan Aurora PH tuh
They're just
susah,
like they're
Jun.
farming each other's purples. I think that's like the
Kayak
third
mana mau
month to
menang
just go
tuh?
to opposite sides.
Cross jungling.
Cross jungling.
Win streak
exactly.
dia.
Light here. Gets that stun on Alec. Even Alec isn't having the greatest time.
Kecuali
A
Nino
majority
pakai
of the targets
itu
that
sih.
get hit
Halo, assalamualaikum
will
Bang
either
Der,
purify or would love to be
assalamualaikum
in the center of
Buddha,
Ultraeagle's lineup.
assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam,
Der.
Meren.
Taking a look at these items
Ini aku lagi di
one more time.
Discord
Yasuke's
soalnya,
been
geng.
farming his mind off essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items.
Waalaikumsalam,
But him
Eren.
being ahead by 100
Waalaikumsalam, Eren.
isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies
Aku
and
lagi
gentlemen,
ini lagi live di YouTube ini, Ren.
cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be
Oh,
like 1,000,
lagi live YouTube.
1,500 up.
Tengok,
Because
ah.
look, Demon Kite Fredrin already has Athena Shield,
Himne
Anti-Cuirass,
dua.
Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is
Oh,
when we see
nobar
these
ya.
Shin against the
Iya, lagi
Fredrin,
nobar
Nolan
ini.
against the Fredrin, the splash clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well
Ada
here in
yang
game number 1.
komen tuh,
Not only are they
77
winning
angka judi dan
head-on
kasino.
initiations, but they're able to find resources
Bukan,
away
itu
from
nama
the
server
enemy.
itu, hei.
Right, counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the dark wave,
Iya,
landing
itu
onto
ada
it.
yang
Now Edward
ada
forced to
yang
fight. That's good. Tsunami Sam to cancel out
komen
the
itu
last
kan,
portion of the raging
yang tidak
slash.
pantas.
Big bomb from Demon Kite and
Aduh,
Edward.
sulit banget ini, nggak bisa ditembus ini. Harisnya bakal nggak ada yang bisa nyentuh, cuy.
And in, he got
Oh.
taunted by the demon, and Domeng takes him down.
Yue and Domenkite are good targets, but not when there's two chunky boys.
Aduh,
next
Lord
to maybe
kedua loh.
three. A half man, half horse.
Lord kedua loh ini.
Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite
Udah berapa
and
sini
Light.
udah?
Because if anyone tries to catch Domeng and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the
Match
taunt
pertama
comes
ini,
in.
Ren.
The little bonk from
Ini match
Hylos
pertama.
comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this
Ini
stage
BO7
in this
kan?
arena,
BO7,
a
iya.
single game he
Iya,
won,
iya, bener,
and he's
BO7.
just moments away from correcting that historically.
4-1 and
Mau
6.
coba geng lapu kah?
Oh, wait a second. This is a classic ultra.
Wah, 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 wah.
Whenever the enemy
Nggak
gets on
mati
board,
sih
they
lapunya,
go to
nggak
the
yakin
pick-off.
aku.
Can they take Edward down? Tsunami Slam coming down with the
Itu-
first
itu
damage.
Mati dong, bener.
Immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out.
Tuh, masih selamat loh.
Goes back in with a helmet
Ya,
to the
lo.
back. Meanwhile, ladder to the
Dibalikin
back,
dong.
Yue jumping in as Domeng goes for
Di
the
end
first
dong.
force already. Yasuke,
Wow.
Yue, but Domeng has to be all over the place. Inoue comes
Oh
in.
my god.
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone. Now
Aduh.
against 4. He's jumping ready for a pursuit.
Come on, bro, Nino.
He's constantly jumping in. His RP does a lot of damage.
Aduh, nggak cukup.
Domeng takes him
Nggak
down.
cukup, nggak cukup damage-nya.
Minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
He's gonna go straight
Di end,
forward.
di end, di end.
No
Ente, ente,
nonsense,
ente, ente.
Aurora take game 1.
Oh my god. Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern
Easy game,
Lions.
anjay.
Hopefully at this point some lessons were learned from both sides, but mostly from Alter Ego. If they're gonna ban the Freya, you might just have to start banning the Fredrin. You
Halo,
might
Aldi,
have to
welcome.
respect the other team as well.
And you gotta feel for RP in that situation. He went Claude. He's like, all right, do I go Purify or Flicker? Why would I go Purify? The only guy that can cancel me is Demon Kite on Fredrin. And we got a Phobias.
Tenang, tenang, tenang. Masih ada 2 game lagi.
But then Demon Kite just says, yeah, nah.
Bisa
What a rude
yuk.
awakening for last night's multiple-time MVP winner.
Ini kalau 3-0 menang kan? Apa harus 5-0?
This is one way to
Iya,
realize
iya, 3-0
I'm not
menang.
a great marksman. I'm pretty good, but not great. What else
Ya nggak
do
bisa
Alter
juga
Ego
sih
have up their
3-0 udah.
sleeves?
Ya
Well,
2-1 kan ya.
one thing's for sure, they
Iya,
cannot give
seenggaknya kasih menang sekali lah. Ya nggak sih?
Hilang dia.
All right.
Iya, game selanjutnya harus
At this
menang
point,
ya.
definitely don't give it a Domeng. Definitely, maybe start thinking about the Fredrin. But let's see what the panel has to say about it. An amazing first game, guys.
I would say it's a perfect way to open up the grand finals. And gentlemen, the thing that I've noticed now, after the first game of this grand finals, the whole story about M7 is your identity. The teams that figure out and stick to their identity will eventually win. And those that betray themselves will start to lose. Here, Aurora, again, bringing that utility jungler looks absolutely amazing. And so far, Arfi is the best when it comes to fighters in the gold lane. I think it's still pretty good on the Claude. But again, I kind of feel like at this point, either Alter Ego really needs to respect this strat coming in from Aurora and figure out a way to deal with it, or they just got to figure out their own identity and somehow give a fighter over to Arfi.
Well, I don't think they're moving too far away from their identity. I don't know if you'll agree with me, Wolf, but I think a lot of this
Halo,
game is
Bang.
boiled down to dividing and conquering in the early stages of the game. But I think Light as the point guard making clear
Iya, anjir.
decisions for the rest of the team. Hey, let's stop the feather
Pengen
airstrike.
nonton,
I saw at the
tapi
peripheral vision of
nanti
my
kalah.
minimap, Yasuke moving over to
Emang udah
that
kalah
early,
ini
quickly
game pertama
defended
nih.
if we don't waste time.
Ya kan?
Argue
segame
against the
kita.
identity of Aurora
Udah
because I
feeling
think
gua.
it is the identity of Aurora.
Gak
They
terlalu
actually
OP
have been
ininya
so
dong.
masterful with it. Maybe the only reason why
Siapanya?
this is not
Auroranya
looking good
terlalu
for Alter
OP
Ego
itu.
or giving it up is not good for it's not
Iya.
going to be good for the entire series is
Rapih
because
dia.
of the fact that they
Orang-orangnya
keep making
juga
mistakes
Super
when
Prince
up
bukan
against
sih?
this kind
Atau
of
siapa itu? MM-nya?
Aurora, all they have to do is to play the
Kuat
game as
banget.
it should be played. And that's exactly what they did. They punished
MD siapa
the
deh itu
set
dah?
of Alter Ego when Alter Ego tries to go for an over aggressive lane. Remember the play in the bottom lane where they
Lupa
did
gua.
get important kills, or Alter Ego did, but they
Mentahan-mentahan
eventually got
dari
kills after kills.
mana-mana juga itu.
Minus one every minute. It all becomes, it all piles up, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer in control of the game.
And look at this, the MVP by Realme, our official gaming phone. 3-1 and 10 is Light coming in from Aurora, Philippines, and again absorbing a lot of damage. And as amazing as Claude is, I actually do like the introduction of the Chastised Cauldron into the tank items, because I feel like it is an item that took a while for a lot of players to warm up to, but now you can see quite a lot of players actually don't mind rushing this item. Even if you think the opponent is not like an attack speed hero, you would be surprised against opponents that even if they don't have attack speed, it does matter a lot.
Oh, it matters so much. That passive is disgusting, especially when you have like a slight lead in the earlier stages of the game. It feels like you're unkillable.
Yeah.
So a lot of these moments, as we see them actually fight, right, comes down to, does Hijime have his ult or not? Can Light actually look to cancel it out? Because as soon as Hijime loses that important ultimate, Yue can do whatever he wants, right? He doesn't need his ult to be relevant in these fights.
I would even go out of my way and say that the Chastised Cauldron was actually the reason why we have fighter gold laners right now, because they're not dependent on attack speed. And in this scenario, you're looking at this Nolan as well as this Claude. The Claude will definitely suffer from this Chastised Cauldron. The timings was just perfect. Now, let's talk about like how do you actually implement this utility strategy coming out from Aurora. This is a box-type strategy that is really good at punishing those that it can unbox. If you're looking at the composition of Alter Ego, they kind of want to go front to back with this Nolan, with this Phobies, then eventually with this Cloud, but they can also go dive. I think that Alter Ego chose to continuously dive against Aurora, and the result is they just kept getting picked off. I think their formation wasn't good enough for them to implement this kind of strategy because they are always diving into the box, the area or the zone of control of Aurora.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Light was able to be that focal point, right? Really the cornerstone to make sure that this box actually works. You're revealing one edge of it, but truly, do you see every single angle? Most of the time, it's going to be no. The best way to summarize the way the game was basically played, it's checkers, right? We're not even getting into the chess side of it yet. It's consistent trades, and eventually Aurora is able to get 2s and 3s.
And the reason why
Tahu tuh orang-orang pada belum masuk anjir.
they're just giving up ones is because they are good at turning into heroes that
seadanya
put a lot of priority. That they put a lot of
Iya,
priority
paling.
toward the heroes of Alter Ego. For
kegiatan.
example, if Phobius comes and jump into the Harriet and the Harriet doesn't have the ultimate, they immediately turn into that Phobius. When the Claude comes in, they will drop everything that they have and they will focus on that Claude. Aurora is so good at reacting to Alter Ego to the point where Alter Ego looks like they're creating those mistakes just because of how Aurora is instantaneous with their reactions.
I really like the refinement coming in from Aurora because again, they know how they play. They just got to make sure that it's basically perfect. And in case something does go wrong, how do you react to it? And I got to say, most of their reactions is actually from Edward. Edward made sure that no shenanigans is going to be there. You guys come in, you got to fight the Lapu.
Yeah, I mean oh man, there's so many times where as an EXP laner, pressing buttons is the right way to go, but he's holding onto that land shaker only for the right moments, only for when the movement abilities and dashes are out. That's when he goes for the big plays, that's when he goes for the flickers.
Yeah. Now you have to think, if you are heading to game number 2, if you're Alter Ego, do you deny or ban the Frederick? So as teams have tried to solve the problem against Alter Ego, which is the Freya and the Leomord, and the only way to go about it is to just ban the Freya, you're now Alter Ego. Do you now ban the Fredrin?
I mean, like,
Think about the Harith.
I'm worried because of two things. Number one is that Frederick's not there, Leomar is going to be there, and Dimikai has already shown he has a pretty mean Akai. Now, here's the thing. This is the World Championship, and our players need the best device just to make sure that everything happens smoothly. And for you guys at home, there's an extra edge for everyone. You guys get the Realme 15 Pro because, again, it has all the AI goodies, win rate predictions, analyze gold item, everything in real time, and it even have the consecutive skill function. So in case you're new to the hero, you can set your skills, and then with just one button, it can execute perfectly. Again, shout outs to the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone, for making sure they gave the very best experience to our players. You play, we carry. This is the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official.
Cerita apa? Habis low streak aku, pusing.
Beautiful design, nice and sleek, and it's got everything. Honestly, I like the size of it. Fits my hands really nicely. So
Mana laguan bisa kalau streak.
don't worry about it.
And now, Gideon, would you mind inviting V? Because V would like to see this grand finals. V has been here the entire time. Looking very cute. So,
ROM-nya sih.
Come on, let's check out this guy and see what V has.
ROM-nya pakai ROM healer, pusing bola gua. Bangke emang.
You don't have to be shy, V. You can give it. Come on. Be brave. Alright lah. My name's V, you know. I'm from V.
Gua kapan udah orang-orang nge-spam
everywhere lah. My job's dead simple. Help you pay fast, safe and proper, smart. Shopping, traveling, even the little day-to-day bits. With V, you're sorted. No stress, sound that. So come on lah, let's crack on with a cashless life. That's easier and boss.
Ini tuan rumah apa M7 di mana?
An international phenomenon.
Hey, I gotta say, V sounds like he can't get knocked out, man.
Di kita nggak sih itu?
Di Indo.
He can be your best friend in more ways than one. He's the real MVP. Like if someone messes with you, you're like, yo.
Itunya kan apa sih namanya? Venue-nya kan di indoor Senayan. GBK.
Might as well, right?
If I ever get into a bar fight, I'm calling V over. He's one of my boys.
And here's the thing, if you guys want to fight, how about a 1v1, right? Because you guys can actually 1v1 with the Fairy Games app. You guys can create and host the 1v1. You guys can play.
Kata temen gua tiket yang paling murahnya 500.000 anjir, satu orang, gila. Tiket finalnya itu 500.000 yang paling murah.
Anjay, mahal banget.
Ngomong makanya.
Stres anjir, itu cari duit banget. Mau dia cari beras anjir, Indoor Senayan.
Dari cari beras tuh ya.
Dari cari beras. Berarti 500.000 baru bisa nonton di luar kayaknya tuh ya dong ya.
Tiba-tiba di luar tuh ya.
Something will change around the jungle pick.
I think, and now Wolf has already brought up a couple of good points about specifically having these utility junglers. I think it's less of a problem with the utility junglers, but the combination of it with this Zhu Xin. That's why we're not seeing the Leomord in this particular matchup, because, the amount of peel that they have with just these two heroes is kind of insane. Add, sprinkle a little bit more CC, and then it becomes impossible.
Well, you know what? I think it's fine, because here's the thing, our players are playing on the secret lab chair, which make it so that they can play all 7 games here, giving amazing comfort with the ergonomic chairs trusted by the world's best MLBB teams. Whether you're enjoying a casual game with friends or representing your org and a country on the M7 world stage, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support. Again, the very same kind that powers the pros, the casters, analysts, everyone here
yang ada di sini.
Get yours today, maybe tomorrow. Hey, I mean,
tiba-tiba ada bang kucing tuh ya.
Greatness start with a secret lab. Wolf, I'm curious to know, because for this upcoming game, we've seen Aurora kind of like make these small adjustments every time they play in the upper bracket. Do you think
Bang Bor nggak suka nonton ML kah Bang Bor?
stick to their guns or switch on over to just
Nggak suka nonton turnamen enggak?
The quick answer to that is they're gonna stick with their guns until it loses. Until
Molep kah? Udah mulai.
Nggak tahu tuh udah lagi nonton tuh.
Why that is the case,
kayaknya break ini nggak sih? Apa udah mulai udah?
Belum mulai lagi.
Masih sambutan manja ya.
Udah mau game kedua ini.
Oh iya.
So to answer your question, until it works, they will use it.
Hey, you know what they say, right? That's how cookie crumbles in beginning, right? As long as it still works, just keep on using it. Like, I like that mentality because it's really on you. Because we got to remind ourselves.
Aduh, bateraiku
I would say
dua-duanya
even
habis
in the
lagi,
best
tai
of
lah.
5, the mental stamina is going to be tested, right? So I really feel like you got to pace yourself. You
Nah, mau
don't have to
nonton
do anything unnecessary and burn out early. If you just
Share aja,
blow your
share ini,
learnability, it
streaming.
makes it very difficult for you to draft
sama
later
aja,
on. Because
Bang.
then like, okay, there's just
Dua-duanya
no
HP ku yang
I don't know,
mati.
that sounds a little premature. Considering that both of
Tuh,
these teams
saya
are truly
tambahkan
at
itu.
the top of their game, it's really trying to get as close to the edge as possible without tipping over and losing your sense of self, right? Because once you have that clarity after you make those mistakes, I think that AE now, coming into this draft, might switch things up. First of all, I think it has to start with blue side, red side.
That's right. I think
Can I just say, I love your linguistic ability.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Yep. You're really good at this. And then we're talking about like the adjustments coming up from Alter Ego. They have to start with the blue side for sure. But now they also will have to think about their jungle choices. I think that the idea why they chose the Nolan makes sense in a vacuum because you need an assassin against the Jushin. You also need a hero that can outpace this Fredrin. However, the Fredrin plus the Jushin combination is such a strong combo in a way that you can only counter one and not both. If you counter the Fredrin part, then the Jushin part will just be free. And then when you try to counter the Jushin part, the Fredrin, as you saw in game number 1, will be free. So I think that the middle ground in that scenario is to go for fighters. That's why I really thought that the Suyo would be a better choice in that previous draft. Maybe a Guinevere eventually. I think that Alter Ego just have to really pick their battles, or maybe just make sure that they only have to solve one.
I would have to say something that I like about the draft coming in from Aurora or from Philippines in general is that they draft in a way where the margin of error is actually quite low. But now we have more surprises here in the MS7 World Championship. In fact, we're going to be throwing it over to the host to see, is there any more surprises for us?
Aurora Gaming Philippines takes the first blood in this best of 7 series. However, before we continue this action-packed series, we have some very exciting news to share with our MLBB fans.
We were pretty sure that everyone will love this, especially MLBB fans from Thailand. What exactly is it? Well, let's all watch this video.
ในฐานะทีมที่ได้แชมป์ไทยเยอะที่สุด มันถึงเวลาแล้วที่เราต้องมุ่งสู่ขั้นต่อไป นั่นคือการเป็นแชมป์โลกของจริง
ถ้าตั้งใจคนไทยไม่แพ้ชาติใดในโลก พวกเราจะพิสูจน์ให้เห็นในเวทีระดับโลก
อนาคตที่ยั่งยืนคือเป้าหมายของเรา ซึ่ง MLBB สามารถช่วยให้เราไปถึงเป้าหมายนั้นได้
พวกเราได้พิสูจน์ตัวเองแล้ว พวกเราก็เป็นทีมแชมป์ในเกมโมบ้าบนมือถือได้เหมือนกัน และตอนนี้พวกเราก็อยากจะเผชิญหน้ากับความท้าทายใหม่ๆไปกับ MLBB
ถ้าเพื่ออนาคตที่รออยู่ข้างหน้า ต่อให้อุปสรรคจะถาโถมเข้ามาแบบไหน พวกเราก็ไม่หวั่น
จงกล้าในวันที่คนอื่นกลัวการที่เราเป็นผู้บุกเบิกสิ่งใหม่แม้มันอาจจะยากแต่มันคือโอกาสที่ประเมินค่าไม่ได้
อยากให้รู้กัน พวกเราคือทีมแห่งโอกาส และในเมื่อมีโอกาสใหม่ๆเข้ามา พวกเราก็ยินดีรับมันไว้
โอกาสจะมาถึงมือคนที่ไม่ยอมแพ้เท่านั้น และโอกาสที่ว่านั้นก็ได้มาถึงมือพวกเราแล้ว
MLBB คือเกมที่จะพาประเทศไทยไปสู่ระดับโลกได้อย่างแท้จริง การันตีด้วยยอดผู้เล่นกว่า 1,500 ล้านคนในมากกว่า 200 ภูมิภาคและประเทศทั่วโลก แถมยังมียอดเข้าชมการแข่งขันอีสปอร์ตบนมือถือพร้อมกันมากที่สุดในโลกประจำปี 2025 ถึง 4,100,000 วิว และถูกเสนอชื่อเข้าชิงรางวัลในรายการ The eSport Award และ The Game Award ถึง 2 ปีซ้อน ประเทศไทยพร้อมลุยแล้วร่วมประกาศศักดาของไทยให้ทั้งโลกได้เห็นกัน
And And there you guys have it. A new regional tournament is officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Super League Thailand launches this year.
This league will feature 10 elite teams composed of 8 established Thai powerhouses and 2 teams from open qualifiers.
And Glenn, I actually heard that some of the MSL Thailand representatives are here in the arena with us watching the M7, and I cannot wait to see them in action. Also guys, for your information, MSL Thailand directly connects the region to the global MLBB ecosystem, as their champions will have a slot in the MSC 2026 wildcards.
This is a huge note for Thailand's legacy
Mana
in
ucing tadi?
ML.
Woi, lagi apa?
Udah. Their victory at the
Lagi apa?
first MLBB International Championship
Lagi-
in MSC
lagi apa?
2017.
Yes, sir.
Lagi
Now, don't
ngapain?
forget to tune in to MSL Thailand as the open qualifiers begin in March. For now, let's continue
Baru on game,
our
on
best
game.
of 7 series.
COD.
Let the world see us.
Ngabisin CP.
Yes, sir, dude. Oh boy.
Udah mulai kah?
Excited to
Itu?
have Thailand here with
Apa
everybody
namanya?
else. And more
Final?
importantly, Lafel,
Ini udah masuk game, mau game kedua nih.
all the way from MSC
Udah mulai?
and now
Udah draft ya?
reintroduce
Ini
Share kah?
mau mulai.
legacy region back to the
Ya
modern
aku lagi live di YouTube juga ini, King.
Live YouTube?
Back there again for the wild cards.
Oh, yaudah, aku join YouTube-mu aja dari sini.
This best of 7, we can see all 10 players are already on stage.
Dengerin suara kita udah, dengerin suara kita udah.
They look calm, they look
Ini
happy.
suara dudung
okay,
tuh ya.
game 1 we learned quite a few
Emang ada?
things. Now it's really all about adjustment.
Ada itu. Suara kalian masuk itu.
I think it's
Apa nama YouTube-mu?
Lagian bukan beneran judi juga. Iya. Kan koinnya virtual nih.
Aurora just being one step
Apa nama
ahead
itunya
because
udah?
they've been using this since forever,
Nama
right?
YouTube-nya Himnetuan. Himnetuan sih. Himnetuan nama YouTube-nya. Nih
Him apa in?
aku tulis di Discord kali ya.
AYMNE TWO One. Dua atau apa sih? Nggak tahu lah, susah kali.
Tulisannya.
Alpha, Beta, Romeo, Panta.
Strategy, they're more concerned about can they actually
Oke, dah.
execute their
Udah
plan.
copy.
You saw in the previous game, they are so systematic with it. When somebody jumps, they will go peel with the Hylas. They help each other out when it comes to their bounce setups. And Dominic, Demon Kite, I mean, so
Langsung
reliable.
subscribe.
Langsung lah, Cing. Apa lagi ditunggu-tunggu.
Langsung subscribe.
Subscribe ya, langsung ya.
Langsung jangan lupa follow and subscribe-nya, guys.
Ya, let's go. Menang.
Really good. Yeah, because we are in broken walls. Alter
Menangis.
Menangis maksud aku. Jadi jerawatnya banyak banget, Bang.
Ya apa itu kan tiba-tiba tuh ya.
Grafiknya Baxia, Fredrin, oh, hero-hero badan-badan pada di band itu sama AE sekarang.
And I still like the idea that AE needs to get rid of this Khalid, but at the same time, does this disrupt the trifecta? You don't have the utility jungles anymore. I feel like AE wants to force Aurora in a more coin flippy style of composition.
Maybe somewhere along the lines of a Croc, because it
Fanny,
is actually
Hilda di
available as
band.
of now. At the same time though, are they actually willing to play the Jushin? We do know that it is a very strong hero, but we
Yalah,
rarely
pakai
get to
Freya.
see,
Kapan nih Freya lagi?
Alter Ego pick that up.
Yang pick
However,
Freya
I still
menang.
feel like it's the best
Ya nggak
mage
dong?
that we have right now in the meta game, just
Ah,
because it
iya
allows
juga.
for it to
Enggak juga
be
tapi.
Enggak
so
juga.
volley in the late
Langsung
stage,
langsung keluar Esmi nanti ya.
Iya juga, enggak juga ya. Udah nungguin.
Bisa iya, bisa enggak.
Seems like there will be a little bit of a change.
I mean, like, here's the thing, Wolf. I don't know about you, but I love Jushin, man. Any reason to pick it up, I'll pick it up. Because Jushin is one of those heroes that's really not selfish. Right? She will always help people out. And if attention gets on her, she can protect herself.
She's literally like...
She don't need no man.
She's literally like the most tanky mage we have in the meta.
Yes!
Nanti malam ada acara kah di COD?
To deal with at times, but I feel at the bare minimum,
Kayaknya
sih ada.
Elit doang kayak.
holding on to just Freya
Ma,
alongside with the Jushin. There
habis
has to
itu
be some
Sama itu.
leeway here. There needs to be
Unlimited
some give and take.
Kita
Honestly, sometimes I feel like
Unlimited.
he's as tanky as a Grok.
Ini
ROE.
Pujio di Discord bukan?
Wall of a castle, and a girl that doesn't even
Emang ada ROE?
make it make sense.
ROE ini pertandingan persahabatan sama timnya LB.
But I feel like what makes
there you go. I agree.
Unlimited.
Jushin really strong is
Unlimited.
that
You guys love Jushin too, right?
Takut malas sih.
Everyone loves Jushin.
of course. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, Jushin is a hero that actually activates most of the junglers, even when they're assassin junglers. Obviously, Fredrin with the Jushin or any utility jungler with the Jushin is already pretty good, but if you play the assassin just because of your mid lane prio, how strongly you can affect the mid lane when it comes to the laning stage, that makes Jushin really a big threat when it comes to it's really a first pick worthy hero.
Honestly, it's very interesting where Munta tried to adjust her, thinking like, okay, now we'll see something. He was like, no, you kind of made it stronger.
Yep. It's really difficult to balance this hero, right? Because again, it has such a unique mechanic that outranges literally everybody at level 1, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, the only exception being Kimmy, but that's only when her passive is up and you can zone her off the wave anyways.
Yeah, I kind of don't want Munta to adjust her that much.
But
so many nerfs the Jushin, but still first pick worthy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Cho. The kit is always going to be relevant.
The kid is always so good.
Yeah, I think Cho and Claude, they're both.
Swap.
Buffering aku guys. Damn lah.
Sabi.
Like M-series heroes, you know?
Yeah, Fanny as well.
No, here's the thing. I really have this theory. There are certain heroes, no matter what, you can one-trick them. Like Cho is the best example. Even if the damage Cho is bad, you have tank. If tank Cho is bad, you go damage. And if either is bad, your kick is gonna be so good it doesn't matter.
Cho is the type of hero where you can have a 10-month drought in a year, and then come to M-series, it will still be a success. It will still be a priority pick, you know?
Asik-asik aja sih.
So I wouldn't be too surprised if there was
Sama-sama
like
enak.
R/way of the
Sama
draft.
aja enak.
Show. It makes so much sense.
Yep, there you go. We have.
Kalau di YouTube kita live-nya nggak ada batasan. Ngomong apa juga.
Okay, so how do you answer this, Alter Ego? You don't necessarily want to go for the Claude immediately because there's the Grok. I think you also can take away Harry. At the same time, though, that would be not a good hero for it. So this is super duper interesting for Alter Ego because now we can see how they will now manage to counter the Leovoid. Previously, they went in for the Claude, then eventually the Suyo.
Yep.
However, because they already showed that before, Aurora might be prepared against that.
What if they went?
I think they. Okay, so.
Speaking of Cho, by the way.
Cho.
Most of the heroes we talk about is here.
Well, I was
expecting
Cho.
Sekarang
I
ya.
wasn't so sure about the user. I was thinking more along the lines of Sora first to kind of keep things open, but this is a very direct way to play the comp.
I think the Farsa will be picked up here by Aurora, but then again, Harith is also available. I think just between those two heroes will be the third pick here for Aurora. I think the Farsa is a much better pickup, though.
I mean, like, here's the thing. This is why I feel like Alter Ego, they're lying by being honest. Because again, look at that draft. They're like, okay, we kind of know where everything is going, but at the same time, you're like, wait, where is this going?
Yeah. Well, what we do know is that Aurora is going into that funnel direction. This Farsa and the Grok, a worthy adversary to Cho Jushin mid lane. I think that matchup is so even. I mean, of course, the first wave literally favors the Farsa and the Grok because of the wall and third round part, but from then on, this mid lane battle is probably one of the strongest mid lane battles we'll ever get to see.
No, yeah, I appreciate this duo, you know. Jushin and Farrock are amazing.
Groxa.
I like that. I like that a lot better.
I kind of like Farrock.
Farrock, yeah.
Because you can create a skin. Farshot. Nah, but like Rock, you know, like imagine Farsa with the guitar and Grok with drums.
I like that. I like that.
That's a skin idea.
That's a skin idea.
Yeah, that's,
you know, rock out.
Make it happen.
That's the duo that's going to be rocking my world in just a little bit. Uranus ban for the side of AE. I think this is to be expected. Do they want to double down with an Esme on top of it, or do they want to diversify?
I think the Esmeralda just is such a good ban because they will not have enough for that. They only have the Cho and the Jushin. There There are few heroes that can actually survive this mid lane duo, and Esmeralda is definitely one of those heroes. I think it's a worthy ban. At the same time, there was a time where the Glue and the Farsa was used to counter the Yuzhong. Even someone like Sanford, who mains the Yuzhong, will not survive that kind of lane. So Glue and Esmeralda might be the choices here for Zephyr when it comes to the ban.
Yep. So right now for Aurora, they already banned out the Guinevere. What other jungler are they looking out for? It looks like they want to take away the Esmeralda, so there's a good chance.
They want a Lapu, I feel like. Yeah. And Harith, obviously. I think this is a fourth pick Harith for Aurora. And now if you're Zephyr, you're going to be thinking about, do I ban Harith or do I focus on the Edward hero? I believe that banning out Dominkite might be better because you can really never have enough bans against Edward.
Do you feel like Aurora will go Claude?
Oh, man.
I think Aurora will go Harith.
All right.
I think most comfortable, they go Harith. Worst comes to worst, they go Granger, right?
Yes. It's not even, I wouldn't say, there you go. Yeah. That's the Harith ban. Well done, Zephyr. But then you're left with Granger still for Aurora. Oh.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like Granger used to have the Claude, so it's like still good, you know?
Yeah, it's still good no matter what, but at the end of the day, you know that the show on the other side, you have to take the Purify, which does hurt the odds in the lane when you end up fighting and go for the all-in, considering how often we see both teams kind of rotate to the opposite sides of the map.
Yeah. Looking like a... Oh, they still went Claude. Well done. Well, they steal it away, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like the whole theme of M7 is
Claude-nya Aurora yang pakai sekarang nih.
And again, Claude has a favorable lane against most matchup.
Exactly.
Now that the Freya is not there, even against a Granger, it's still going to be fine.
I really like it. Now, I think you're left with that...
Did they go Yisun Shin?
Yisun Shin against Farsa, Grok, and Leomord. That might be really
very hard,
your ego. And I think they will just go Suyo, honestly. Suyo, Granger. Just run it back.
Run it back, but it's going to cost them a little bit. It's a good call by Wolf, but at the same time, the damage profile doesn't really... It's a lot more manageable for the side of Aurora. Antiques come through, and some dumb ices. It's going to be a tough game.
Now, Glue is just perfect, I would say, for Aurora. Patrick, with this kind of composition, that's gonna really tear up Alter Ego apart. But then the safest option is the Lapu-Lapu. You can always just go back to that.
I think there is an opportunity to go above and beyond and play Arlet because there's a lot of enablers for the side of Aurora, and you need somebody who actually can force out not only Purifies, but shove Jushin back into the fight.
This is a bit off, but I kind of feel like I kind of hope there's no more skins for the Glue, but that can be the ultimate skin that he has.
Aurora.
And now Aurora, they finish it up with the Sora. Again, a lot of crowd control, and when you do need it, you can go for more damage. What do you think about the side lane matchups here, Wolf?
Pretty even, but... Nah, I think it's Sora-sided. Yeah, I would go for Aurora, actually. After a few seconds of thinking, this is Aurora.
I think it really depends on who's going to get that first blood. If Nino wins out his lane, I think this is going to be a very interesting mid-game.
I mean, like, again, this is all about momentum. Whoever has, I would say, the good 5 minutes of the game can really start to control the tempo. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the drafts has been done. We're jumping into Broken Walls for game number 2 of this grand finals. Now we're going to give it back to Leo, Trex, and Mirko.
Select adjustments coming in from these two teams going into game number 2. Will Alter Egos changes spell a different result, or will Aurora continue to push forth?
I like it at this point. I mean, here's my big problem coming from Aurora. Well, coming from Aurora for AE. The Sora right now, I think, was the winning piece of this draft in my mind. I think it's something that it's gotten overlooked in the last game, and right now coming in, it's going to be something that can jump into the back line, can do damage to Arfi, can get onto Hijume, and can also be a nice, bulky frontliner for Aurora Gaming PH.
Is the best way to win a draft from the red side, using red 5 this well.
Yeah, it's really, really good by Aurora Gaming Philippines there, but I think for Alter Ego, they've built a very, very good core foundation for those neutral objective takes. The Yuzhong with the Suyo, it seems to be the answer against the Leomord right now. SRG played it, got a really good game against Alter Ego.
It's one of the few key wins on the hero that has almost been forgotten since last year's World Championships. Also, the reason why this is such a comfortable Suyo game for Yasuke is there's only really one painful source of magic damage, and that's Yue. And this lineup, I'd say, is built to hunt down Yue. Nino on the Yuzhong, even Alec can, you know, get pokey and kick him right out of the skies.
Yeah, but getting the Grok and then getting the Leomord is something that's going to be able to stop that. It's something that's going to be a big problem for Alter Ego. And last game, Yasuke also had a nice hunting hero, but he wasn't able to find the angles. So this time, a lot of it's going to come down to, can he finally get past Aurora Gaming to those heroes?
Turtle spawning in the lower quarter of the map. You'll see that the Claude will try to push fast, clear it, get double waves, and then join the fight.
After a long time of not seeing Suyo, well, hold on, Demoncat gets completely zoned. This is a Turtle 1 take for free for Alter Ego unless Edward.
One rare.
Good.
Yes. Aduh, nggak dapat dong.
Hijume can't get quite close enough.
Frederick, you were saying?
I was saying, the Suyo, it's so rarely picked up that a lot of teams going up against it would just not be prepared for it. But it seems like for Aurora Gaming Philippines, they know how fast a Suyo can go, and that's why Yue, Edward, Domeng, they're playing it so safe.
But can they stop it from its speed? We're already seeing a first turtle go into Alter Ego. This might not be a composition that Aurora Gaming wants to take the super slow route to. At some point, they do need to try to fight it out.
And I think that's dictated by their jungler. You kind of want to snowball, not as fast as you would like a true assassin, but with a Leomord, you kind of want to get the most out of that power spike you get when you have your War Axe and then your Brute Force. From there, you kind of feel unstoppable. I know I did this morning.
Oh, good.
On Edward, I think Nino knew that Yue was hiding in there.
Something was fishy about that.
Again, you don't see it. I mean, you see it.
Taking a look at the items right now. Arfi looking for Hunter Strike or an impossible early Sky Piercer. He's going to go straight to Sky Piercer.
He's going to skip it.
Did that yesterday as well. He likes to go for that Sky Piercer up front, but wing.
Great reaction from Hijume, but it's a bit late now. Has to burn the Flicker. So it's light with the Flicker and also Hijume.
Both teams really just testing the waters right now. No big full commit engages, but seeing what the other team is going to do.
His limit testing. And now Arfi, Hijo de Oro, finds that early Sky Piercer. Now it's up to Alter Ego to ride that wave.
No red tree, and Yuzuki didn't even get it there, the green camp. So this is info for Demon Kai to utilize.
So last time that we saw Arfi go for this early Sky Piercer, there was a quick gank up to the gold lane. I mean, either after this turtle or
game apa Pujiyota? Apa game yang bagus?
As soon as possible.
Time's a ticking. We'll see if that kind of rotation will be the play for Alter
Main
Ego.
Fit and Grow
What is
Fish
clear is
kemarin
they
tuh.
want this second turtle. Massive presence from El Familia here. Aurora Gaming want to contest.
Oh, man. Whoop, whoop. Wow.
Edward does find the kill, but Demon Kai
Wow.
It's an all-out win for Aurora Gaming Philippines. Yue trying to go for stun onto Arfi now. 3-0, and even a turtle taken by Aurora.
Say what you will about Aurora's draft, it being very ult dependent and timing reliant. They found the perfect timing. They used every single ult that mattered to take down 3 members of AE and the second turtle too. That's one of the major problems I have with the Suyo.
Game apa itu The Town?
You know, when the
Nggak tahu
heroes
aku game
big,
apa.
this was still one of the major problems is there's too many dudes in there. And look at this
Waduh.
Oh, Dragon, good side set by Demon, kind of ganking the bottom lane. You know, gonna be dove on.
Gak ada
now as
naga
they
dong.
try to juggle, and Edward takes
Ah.
to the skies to pick up a killing spree.
Aurora Gaming giving Alter Ego the Alter Ego treatment right now.
Right, caught on the way to Dragon now. They're gonna give
Good.
over a stack to Arfi. So they get something on the map, but Aurora get more value.
It's a good trade for the Northern Lights. An XP laner and a turret for a lone roamer. It's very rare that El Padre Nino gets told what to do. That's just not how it works. Even when they're losing, he's usually the one who wins the lane, who tries to gain back parts of the map. But here, that's a non-starter. Aurora Gaming are dictating the pace, and how unfortunate is it that it's in that same side of the map that the final turtle will spawn.
Another big problem, Yasuke already taking this death, right? And even when Suyo was meta, it wasn't a hero that you wanted to die this early on. It wasn't a hero that you wanted to lose turtles on. And now that that's happened in the current meta, I'm wondering how far back is Yasuke as of now?
We'll see in the items. We'll check in just a bit. It's the final turtle.
Oh.
50 seconds. Big fight starts.
All in, you blink and you miss it. RP disintegrated. Now they're just trying to go over to the fence. Petrify onto Wars. Dome, Nino going at it over. Gets the
Good.
up as well. Nino in the back now doing more damage as Demon Cat goes in with a steed and runs through Nino.
Cuunya nggak main loh. Cuunya si Alex nggak main ini.
Sports a huge gank from Aurora Gaming, sending RP back to the base.
El Familia is getting crumbs, alms. Yasuke is starving. All that upstairs for a turtle. The map doesn't check out. Edward spots Hijime here, goes into thunder form.
Goes in on the Hijime.
Whoa.
With a flicker himself now, RP trying to go for the damage, but it's UA with the shot. RP getting barriered away now.
Wow.
Gets smacked by Light.
There is no escape right now from Aurora Gaming Philippines. Alex does jump in though.
What a peel there. Tectonic charge.
Gak bisa.
From Domeng. Nino taking very low, so able to sustain for some bit. Domeng goes back in. Nino so there.
Man. Waduh, nggak selamat Nino.
Going out of a Demon Cat as his horse.
Alex is trying to get away, but Demon Kite doesn't want to let it happen. Yasuke look for the re-engage.
Weller canceled. Now the blade surge backward. Feathered airstrike coming down, and they zone Alter Ego from the purple buff.
Let me commend a play that happened off screen that made the tail end of that sequence immaculate for Aurora Gaming PH. Dimanka used the Phantom Steed just to get there.
Yep.
So again, the map awareness and communications on Aurora Gaming side is on another level. Yesterday, last night, back-to-back, two teams that are so good at fighting, so good at macro. SRG and Liquid, they did not play this way.
Nope, they did not. And the mechanical awareness on top of that, Leo. Light canceled out the dive from Nino, which would have been a sure kill.
You know, at this point, we just saw the gold spread. Overall, the 2,000 gold lead is pretty divided between 5 members of Aurora Gaming. Alter Ego still not completely out of this, but if it continues on this track, it's going to be tough for them.
Whoa. Go Hijime back, feathered airstrike, so much thrown at Hijime, and he can't handle it. Neither can Nino. He has to use the Black Dragon form defensively.
This was the MO for SRG last night. That one game they won, and that game 4, where it seemed like they were going to equalize, they attacked the heart of Alter Ego's lineup. They attacked Hijime, denied him the game, denied him from playing. But here, it's all the more evident. The Zushin's short to mid-range utility. Isn't accessible at this time. Lord for free going over to Aurora.
You know, looking at the back at the draft. That's okay.
No blade
surge. Waduh dia. Waduh gila sih Edward.
Edward on a tanky Sora still packing such a huge punch. I think he could 1v1 just about anybody on Alter Ego Esports right now.
Mirgo, Trex. Aurora, he's the same high IQ player, finds that massive tech charge. Holy Shield up top pop. Alter Ego looking to protect the real estate. Bottom lane is gonna pop as well. 5K up Aurora Gaming.
You know what I was saying was, I feel like that first phase of drafting, the Jushin was not worth giving over the Grok and the Leomord. I think you take the Grok, you take the Leomord, you give over the Jushin and the other one, and you still get the Farza. Anything. I think Alter Ego, not just in the gameplay, but also the draft, they are getting outmaneuvered right now, and there needs to be an answer soon.
Man, whether airstrike over on RP, doesn't have flicker. And now it's gonna be the barrier coming down again. It's Edward. Go into the skies, trying to go for a slam. Yazuki in the bottom lane. Just really trying to go for a trade, but the waves aren't crashing in just yet.
Yazuki looking for some bottom lane play. Anything, and this is what Yazuki always does well. Even when they're losing, he looks for playing the map. He steals away buffs, he finds towers. He's able to play them. map a bit, and it's gonna staunch the bleeding slightly, right? It's a small band-aid on a big flesh wound.
And that flesh wound is ringing to the tune of 5,000 gold up. Half a minute till the Lord spawns upper quarter. Alter Ego Esports can only pray and hope to get lucky to contest because the map doesn't belong to them at all. Demon Kite can willy-nilly rough shot, just hit the Phantom Steed, and what, 10 seconds later, be the same kind of threat. Alter Ego Esports, I'll say now, one of their possible win conditions, their outs here, is to get a pick off on Yue. That's a start.
Yeah, Alex got to make a big play, some sort of big kick, but the thing is his light is outmaneuvering him time and time again. Nino can't even go in with a big black dragon and look for these big petrifies because Domain just shreds him down.
Oh, Alec.
Down a bad spot.
Way too aggressive. Edward didn't want to go for the flicker just yet, but the airstrike coming out over on Alec as Yasuke gets pulled back, but is able to blade surge out of there. And now it's Aurora knocking on Alter Ego's base.
Lord's gonna spawn in about 20 seconds. Hijume still unable to find his footing. He's miserable in a situation like this. He can't clear waves as effectively as Yue, and he's on the back foot. How does this national champion throw back to his days in
Ente lagi nih bau-baunya, Cing.
Bali 2022, the prime of his career? How do they close this 7,000 gold gap? Not inside the base, I'll tell you now. It's got to come from somewhere else.
Already a winner crowned for Domain Kite at this point, which means he can be even more aggressive on this big advance. Demon Kite now starting off for the Rose Gold, making him be able to be even more aggressive. They are preparing for this attack like they're gonna try to end it here.
That is the Lord up top, gonna crash into that turret. Say goodbye. Bottom lane and mid seems to be the point of contention. The defense, feathered airstrike by Yue. Not much of a response.
They force the Crimson Beacon out from Hijume. Light just fainted. He went, huh! And Hijume reacted. He flinched. Two base turrets on the sides. That is the worst combo you could find. And again, it's what LaFell said. Farok, Broxa, that combo, brother, is too much.
I'm partial to Farok. And there's the Farsa starting it up. Phantom Steed from Demon Kite. Turn in mid, about to go down.
Edward, oh my god, Light jumps in again! Tech charge! Now Hijume taking low, they're still able to go for it. Nino with the Furious down in the petrify, but he won't be able to lock them down for long. A Cannon in the mid lane as Edward dives in with a bit of crown. Yasuke clears out the Cannon, but they have another wave.
RP with a couple of free shots and down. Not yet, Edward able to just get away again.
He's ticking down. Hijume able to get a shutdown. Demon Count on the horse again. Jumps on Yasuke. Bang! Hijume gets away with the Crimson Beacon. Doming's on the base. They can't just end it right here as Nino jumps in, but Yue!
RP keeps on kiting back and forth. He's able to push him away with a couple more shots.
El Familia stands, still breathing. A 10th left on the base, refusing to go down.
Edward got some kind of plot armor, brother. After losing M4, now in the same arena, something's clicking.
At this point, I mean, I couldn't even see his health bar at that point.
Yeah.
And the shot residue was on him. There was no